Part 32. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 311. Ruxia Trillion Year. Emperor Ming took Empress Ma's hand and felt the coldness that he hadn't felt for a long time since he was extraordinary. There was a burst of heat in his mouth, but he was particularly smiling. Emperor Han, and the Three Kingdoms. Today, you have established a reincarnation in the Three Kingdoms Alliance, and then there is the Han Emperor, and you will lead the Han Empire into the origin, and you will be with us to fill another prosperous dynasty in the Shangxia system. Now, there is the grace of the Lord, who has bestowed this auspicious snow on us. It can be described as three joys. Zhu Yuanzhang said and walked outside the hall with everyone. The snow is crystal clear, shimmering softly fluorescent, and the internal force seems to contain infinite dimensions, with many sacreds kneeling in it, and many living beings laughing in it. Queen Ma beside her, like many people outside, reached out to pick up a piece of snowflake. With a flash of light, it turned into a round white jade bead, which was engraved with flowers, birds, insects, and fish, as if it had become a world of its own. 253. Hey, my sister's luck is so good, she got a treasure when she made a move. Queen Ma smiled brightly, pinched the jewel and looked at it carefully, and liked it very much. Emperor Ming, knowing that your family is favored by heaven after tomorrow, you don't need to boast in front of us. Emperor Qin walked over, and there was a great sun fire hanging beside him. The true fire, which is usually infinitely powerful, can only bring a trace of warmth to everyone at this moment. This makes them seem to have returned to the past. The winter is bitterly cold, and the fire is baking. Emperor Han and the Three Kingdoms Alliance did not feel deeply about this. It's a pity, my big man just joined the origin, but he can't participate in this event. It's a pity, it's a pity. Emperor Han sighed, seeing that Empress Ma had obtained the treasure at will. There are also many raiders outside, all of whom are beaming. There will be a lot of gains. Even if it's just some ordinary pills, it's also from free welfare activities. Don't want it in vain. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not say much to you. There's so much going on, I have to go back and get busy. The great elder of Kyushu said casually, and then looked at Emperor Han and said, Emperor Han, when you go back, talk to me in Kyushu. My basic aid from Kyushu will go to you immediately. Everything is going according to what we have discussed. Thank you, great elder Kyushu. Emperor Han's eyes flickered, and his excitement were already deep in his heart. Yes, it's just a pleasure for the future Han. Great elder, I'm leaving, then I'm leaving. It was a good event, I have to go back and send the news. Anyway, as long as you participate in the damage to the boss, you can settle the reward. No matter what, you have to involve my people. Zhu Yuanzhang said goodbye to the Three Kingdoms and others, as well as the Emperor of Han, and immediately flashed with Queen Ma and returned to Daming. Then we'll go too. Bofeng Shuman and Uchiha Fugaku looked outside. Those raiders rubbed snow on the ground into snowballs, and then threw them to damage the boss Zhang Hulan. That's the strategy for this boss event. It's not like usual, running up and fighting. On the contrary, it is like a mortal, like a snowball fight. It's right to say that it's like a mortal. After all, you can't use supernatural strength to resist the cold. Snowballs cannot be crafted using any other force. You have to rub the snowball yourself and then throw it to attack. When the attack hits, it can be considered as dealing damage to the boss. Therefore, this event is open to all people in all realms. There are a lot of rewards for the boss event. And it's not just Zhang Hulan, there are two bosses in my ninja world. One is Lu Xiaofeng, who has 4 eyebrows, and the other is Xin Shaolang, one of the 9 pillars. I didn't expect there to be other bosses. At this time, Emperor Qin seemed to have received some news on the light curtain, and he also laughed heartily a few times, and then said, "On my Dakin's side, there is also a boss. One is the exotic linker Dugu defeated heaven, the forbidden god. One is Hawkeye, the great swordsman of the new world of pirates. If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network." As he spoke, he pushed a video into the air. I saw many great Chin people below, rubbing snowballs and smashing the big sword How Eagle Eye in the sky. But they were all sensitively avoided by Eagle Eye driving the deer, laughing, and then shuttling through today's void. I don't know where to go. Interesting, everyone, let's disperse. Today, the Lord has given us the Winter Veil event, which is also intended to let us not be overly immersed in practice and busyness. Of course, the heavens are happy to participate. Emperor Qin said, rolled up his sleeves, and looked like he was going back to do a big job. In the Triple Alliance, the three leaders are naturally sending messages to get their people to participate in this event. Emperor Han rubbed his hands and glanced in Xiaodo's direction. There are many women there at the moment, and they are all beautiful. Emperor Han smiled and saw that Xiaodo was still there. However, Xiaodo's eyes were a little sad and indignant. Looking at her again, the other women were among the snowflakes and had their own treasures. Only she was empty-handed, no wonder she looked like that. Let's go with me to thank Xiaodo, and then add a friend. This time I'll wait, but I want to thank Xiaodo. Although we don't have any good things now, there will always be a way to get up in our roots. As soon as Emperor Han finished speaking, he heard his good champion say, "Ahem, there are still good things, Your Majesty, look." Wei Qing was looking elsewhere just now, and he didn't notice the movement of the champion. He and Emperor Han heard the words of the champion, and turned their heads in surprise. I saw the champion waiting beside him, followed by a BMW covered in scale armor. "What's this?" Wei Qinglen blurted out that Emperor Han was also interested. "Uncle, according to the information I have gotten, this is a dragon horse from the immortal realm, with powerful true immortal power and true dragon bloodline." As he spoke, the champion rolled his eyes, and then immediately said, "A good horse with a good saddle, of course the dragon horse is also for the emperor to ride, so I will." Before the champion Ho could speak, Emperor Han interrupted with a wave of his hand. He didn't know what the champion was going to say. However, now, how can he care about this? After the other emperors and leaders talked and exchanged learning, his heart was already instantly opened. Who cares about these little things in front of you? Not to mention the dragon foal, what about the real dragon? The current leader of the Four Seas Dragon clan, the Aoguang of the 1.1 Saint of the Posture God. Just now, I promised to send real dragons and shrimp soldiers and crabs to help me manage the sea. Okay, didn't you two listen to our discussion just now? It seems that the civil ministers and military generals of my Han dynasty need to invite teachers to study and learn the cultures of all worlds. I don't want to see that old-fashioned thinking again." After speaking, he raised his feet and walked towards Xiaodo. Wei Qing and Champion Ho knew that their emperor was beating and encouraging. After all, only the three of them know about the origin. This time after going back, the transformation of the Han dynasty is unprecedented. The emperor didn't want his two uncles and nephews to be unable to keep up. "Good nephew, let's not embarrass your majesty again." "Uncle, I know." The two of them settled their minds and followed. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 312. Summer Bean. The sudden call made Xiaodo, who felt incompatible with this group of European-spirited women, turn his head to look for a sound. Walking straight towards her were the three people led by Emperor Han. "Finished talking so soon? Ha ha ha, it's been over for a long time, and now it's all gone, to have fun with the people, and to participate in the Winter Veil boss event. It's a pity that my big man has just joined the Origin, but I can't participate in it. When Emperor Han was talking, he happened to see a young girl. The woman's eyes were white, as if they were transparent, like a bright moon. It amazed the three Han emperors. It seemed that seeing the surprised appearance of the three Han emperors, Xiaodo said casually, "This is the crown princess of the Ninja Alliance, and these eyes are a special physique in her family. What kind of perspective, farsightedness, etc., are pediatrics? This is a special physique, and it can be passed on? It's magical. It seems that if you want to learn more about the transcendence and technology of the origin realms, you need to take your time. And the crown princess of the Ninja Alliance is the daughter-in-law of Mr. Bofeng Schumann." On the side, Hinata heard Xiaodo talking about herself, and also looked over. "Hinata, this is the country power that has just joined this 05 source, the Han Emperor of the Great Han Kingdom, and I just communicated with your father Naruto." When Hinata heard this, she straightened her clothes, and then said with a smile, Hinata of the Ninja Alliance has met Emperor Han. My Ninja Alliance has all kinds of artifacts that can obtain top-notch bloodlines, physiques, and extraordinary abilities. Even soon, the sale of the dimensional world will be opened. I also ask Emperor Han to communicate more with my Ninja Alliance for a win-win future. As he spoke, he took out a few small boxes and handed them to Emperor Han. A small gift, not a tribute. Look at my ninja world, and together with Emperor Han, go hand in hand. When Emperor Han saw this girl named Hinata, she was generous and polite. And between the words, it is all about cooperation and communication. Let Emperor Han value the Ninja Alliance again. Haha, thank you for the generous gift of the princess of the ninja world. My big man has just entered the origin today, and he is shy in his pocket, so he won't slap his swollen face and become fat. In the future, I will definitely cooperate more with the Ninja Alliance and become a better partner. Oh, Hinata is so powerful, she deserves to be called the princess of the ninja world. Wan walked over and teased Hinata. She was usually extremely shy, but she didn't expect to be generous and talk to the emperor of another country in a decent manner. And every sentence is inseparable from cooperation and exchange, and it seems that the name of Naruto's right-hand man is not in vain. Look at it, as soon as this Wan teased, it made Xiao Hinata blush again in an instant. It was still Ohita who came and grabbed Hinata and whispered something. But unexpectedly, Hinata seemed to be more and more shy, and asked the other women next to her to cover their mouths and smile. When Emperor Han saw this, it was not good to stay here for a long time. Xiaodo, thank you for today's events. When my Han officially enters the origin, I want to thank you again. The three Emperor Han didn't say much here, and after thanking Xiaodo, they left in a hurry and went back to the Han court. After all, this is the time to be busy. But fortunately, there is a new cultivation manual, which can be said to record all kinds of records of how other countries should develop in the early days of joining the origin. Well, it's actually copying homework. The Ming dynasty copied Dakan, and then there was the Ninja Alliance, the Pirate New World, the Demon Clan, and the Three Kingdoms Alliance. Moreover, there is now basic support from all walks of life. The initial development is much better than before. And back to the moment of the Great Han. Emperor Han turned his head to Wei Qing and Champion Ho, looking at the sunny day, but he was not happy at all. Because he also wants the Great Han to integrate into the origin and into the worlds. And not alone, excluded. The Winter Curtain activity, my big man can't participate, it's my big man's loss. Therefore, you must use the help of all realms as soon as possible to integrate with our Han and then let me rule the universe. The Power Universe is another universe in the prosperous era of our Chinese system, and it must only be in the hands of my great man. Emperor Han's voice was sonorous and powerful. Words seemed to drift across the room and into the universe, making the stars tremble. If you read a violent novel, Go to Fila Novel Network. The new big man is in action. And in the world where the winter curtain is going on, of course, this moment is a festive time. Occasionally, when the snow falls, a treasure comes. No matter how poor it is, you can also get some elixir spiritual objects for daily practice. But everyone's attention is still focused on the Wintervale boss who drives the colorful deer, steps on the sleigh, and drags the rewards of unknown artifacts. Hey, which country world is this? The immortal spirit is so strong, and the law of the Deo seems to be close at hand. Dugu asks suspiciously. Although he often retreats and practices, he talks about the barrage in the water live broadcast room, or the various origin news posts and messages of water. Then he didn't fall at all. I don't know who it is, so that I can cross the water while cultivating. Developed this secret method of irrigation of the primordial spirit. Speaking of which, I still have to thank the man. Therefore, for the worlds, Dugu defeating Tien still learned a lot in the live broadcast. But here's it. Is it? Dugu was shocked, and he already had some guesses. In the snow, in the sky, the clouds and mist were lifted, and suddenly a uniformed heavenly soldier appeared. It was actually the Emperor of Heaven, who personally led the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals to participate in the winter curtain activities. That is to say, the foreign world is linked to the flood of the world, and the application is connected to the winter curtain event. Wait, no, there's something else. Dugu's defeated queen had a chill down her spine, and she wanted to run away immediately, but as 617 was the boss of the winter curtain, he also had to follow the rules. You can't get out of here right away. He had expected it to be true. I saw that the saints who had communicated many times in the live broadcast room, with their disciples, actually dared to come. And Senior Rehua, are your 3 heads and 6 arms here for a snowball fight? Look at it, I'm not a miracle, I look like this. Luohu raised his head and looked at Dugu with a thief. Defeated boy, I advise you to be restrained and not to do that useless struggle. Young man, think more about the words of this demon ancestor, I advise you to do it yourself. Bah! As the demon ancestor of the flood desolation, for the sake of the grand prize, he actually played this set. My young man won't talk about martial arts today, so what? I'll go. 1,000-armed cannon? Bodhisattva, can you still play like this? You're still calling it a snowball fight? You're a Gatling snow gun, aren't you? And the Jinn god, I know you're already so tall. But can that snowball you roll be any bigger? Dangerous, dangerous. Whining. Origin of a certain year, a certain month, a certain day. I'm alone and defeated the sky, and I appeared as an event boss played by the first raider. I thought I wouldn't be attacked, and then I won the grand prize alone. But the old-timers of the flood wilderness do not talk about martial arts. They sneak attacked, I was careless, there was no flash, the past was ruined. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 313. Zhonghulan, what are you running? In the origin, Zhonghulan ran wildly against the snowflakes in the sky. However, he was tightly wrapped, as if he was afraid of being recognized. But as soon as he heard the shout, he immediately stopped. I'll go, Luofeng, I've transformed into a form, and then used a magical cross-dressing prop. How can you still recognize me? Before Luofeng could speak, Hongxian beside him quipped. I smell you from afar, how can I not recognize you? Zhonghulan shook the snowflakes on her body, and no matter how they recognized them, she immediately said. Later, if Sister Bao asks, don't tell her that she saw me. Did you provoke Feng Bao Bao again? Luo Feng admired Zhang Hulan's rhythm of dying to taking off. Anyway, Feng Bao, she didn't know where she came from, and got an immortal treasure bundle of fairy ropes. This treasure is the immortal Dao single-level golden immortal who is trapped, and he can't escape. Now, together with her escalating golden shovel, arresting and burying people, it is not ambiguous at all, and it is very suitable. So, how could Zhang Hulan die to provoke Sister Bao? Hearing Luo Feng ask, Zhang Hulan jumped directly. How dare I provoke that witch? Didn't I just get selected as the Winter Curtain boss? She told me to stand still and let her fight so she could reap the reward. But how can there be such a good thing? As a boss, I also have to do things according to the rules. Don't say anything, I'll hide first. In the blink of an eye, Zhang Hulan didn't know where to go. Maybe he ran to which dimensional secret realm, to do tasks, and avoid the limelight. Beside Han Li, when he saw IP Man and Chen Zhen passing by, he heard IP Man muttering. Bastard boy, his traversal system isn't reliable. I actually crossed over to the secret tourist area. A multi-dimensional dimension of the zombie secret realm of Resident Evil, so many of them are used as the secret realm of the newcomers opening without wearing. One of the few people who was classified as a tourist area, he went straight through, but the source just came with the news, and he had to ask me to make up the tickets for him. And he smuggled in illegally, and he has to pay a fine. Chen Zhen, do you think it's easy for me to earn some points? The Origin was obviously able to prevent him from entering, but he still let him in. Just to pit me on that point. Don't say it, I'm tired. Chen Zhen stood up and smiled vigorously. What are you afraid of, anyway? This time the Snowflake Welfare Red Envelope, sister-in-law, she won the jackpot and got a divinity, which is not bad for this point. Then there are the two bosses who just brushed Zhang Hulan and Yanzu. It's not enough to compensate for the fine and the ticket. Yaman shook his head and pushed out a curtain of light. People are more popular than people, according to Kyushu, it is full of European spirit, or seals. Look at how many good things have been posted on the Source Information Network, and all of them have been shipped. What elixir, immortal weapon, magic secret method, hidden secret realm or something. I was sent away with a few bottles of pills. Chen Zhen smiled, not comforting, but still said. Brother yeah, you are the non-chief that Kyushu is talking about, haha. Look at the boxing gloves I just drew from the Snowflake Welfare Red Envelope. Brand new without any wear and tear. Feel free to punch down, collapse a star or something, it's like playing. Hey. What I've treasured for a long time, that enhancement scroll with +11, and those high-level rune words at the bottom of the box, are finally useful. Brother yeah, do you think I should increase the amount first, or hit the rune language first? Or go collect some exiled spirit creatures? Read violent novels, go to Filu Novel Network. Before Chen Zhen's words fell, he was chased by IP Man for a few streets and disappeared. Looking at this scene, many raiders smiled knowingly. Secret channel self-control is not a non-chief. The non-chief is either on the top at the moment, running to open the box, wanting to prove his innocence, he is not a non-chief. Or go to the foot of the sacred mountain, worship the primordial master, and want to transfer. Either you are autistic, you go to the secret realm to get the interstellar battlefield, or you go to the god's secret realm to slaughter the gods to vent your anger. I'll go, can I still play like this? Luo Feng's sudden exclamation made Hong Xian look over, but there was an indecent voice behind him. What's the way to play? Is it the kind of play I wanted? Luo Feng and Hong Yan looked back, and it turned out that Xiao Yan came over with a sense of emotion. You're thinking about, of course it's serious fun. Look at this. As he spoke, Luo Feng opened a video. In the video, it was Tugu who was defeated, besieged by the flood, and embarrassed. Harness his deer and dodge snowballs. Or use its boss skills to dodge and counterattack. But even if it is in the snake skin of the lonely and defeated the sky. In the face of the 1,000-armed cannon, there seemed to be a Gatling-like snowball projected behind him. There's also the Jinn God, a huge snowball that rolls up. Be hit by the snowball, and the crit is a certainty. The results go without saying. In Dugu defeated heaven, in a sentence that I will come back again, the boss Dugu defeated heaven was eliminated. Why didn't we think of that? Xiao Yan said in hindsight. What if you think about it, is there anyone in your alien fire alliance who looks like this? Listening to Hong Yan, Xiao Yan thought about it carefully, it was really not. Moreover, he didn't connect the winter curtain activities to Dakian, so he could dispatch so many people to besiege together. The main thing is to prevent the endless worlds from snowing at the same time. And no matter who you are, no matter what level, you can still feel the cold. It's a little scary, so forget it. If you want to experience the winter curtain event, you can go directly to the origin, or go to the other worlds, Haozhou, realm. For example, Sunur and her confidants ran away to the world of Ten Cold. To experience the Four Seas Dragon Palace, the project that has just launched the Winter Icy Dragon Palace tour has gone. The four seas freeze and turn into a cold sea, but it allows the creatures of the sea to swim and survive in the ice sea. There are also a variety of sightseeing and amusement programs, which make people feel that they will be interesting. Otherwise, Luofeng, you will also join the winter curtain activity, so that our side, all the races in the starry sky, can feel what it means to be cold. The little devil Bubita said mischievously. If those true gods and gods who are high up in the sky have encountered this heavenly snow that has affected the entire universe, I'm afraid I don't know what to be scared of. Luofeng shook his head, he naturally wouldn't do these things, it wasn't interesting. But suddenly in the live broadcast room, I found something unusual. Tisk, why is the Holy Grail War also connected to the Winter Veil event? Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 314. The secret world of the Holy Grail War is also connected to the Winter Curtain event. In other words, who are the few people left now? In other words, Dugu defeat, as the adjudicator of this Holy Grail War, was also selected as the boss of the Winter Veil event. Is it because of this that I also applied to participate in this event? Uncle defeat, it's really too weak. Well, that's what Aliyah said. Look at Valhalla, the heroic spirits over there are all frozen into popsicles, ha 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 ha. But why is it that we haven't had a winter curtain boss on our side? Send a message to the UN Masters, brother. No need to send it, it's coming. The two children who manifested their inhibition force, fart-stricken Knuckle, quickly rushed to Fuiuki City. The third anniversary warm-up event, the Winter Curtain boss arrival, and the Snowflake welfare event. Ha ha ha. It's really the right time to come back this time and participate in the Holy Grail War. It's too cold. Red a palace, what he wears is not the tight-fitting leather jacket. After all, this dress has been complained about so many times in the origin. But to be honest, this outfit is not Sao bag at all. Xiao Yan, they know a fart. Muttering, he put away the small notebook in his hand. At the moment when the small book was closed, I saw that the 557 characters of the Jiantong family were written on it, and a bloody red cross was marked. Elijah, let's go, take you to a snowball fight. Wrapped in thick fur by the maid, Ilya's small body looked a little bloated. Puff. AHH. What are you laughing at? It's not like I'm going to wear so much, you're just a servant, hurry up and don't laugh. Looking at Ilya's clumsy appearance, I thought of the Ilya who could be disguised in the origin. In the heart of the Reda Palace, it is even more urgent to vow to restore the chaotic Holy Grail world one by one. Soon, it won't be long before I can do this on my own without relying on the power of the origin, and I can do it myself, closing all the planes and planes. However, there is a price to be paid for the inhibition there. Gathering his mind, he lifted Ilya in his hand and looked into the winter sky. The adjudicator was Tugudefeat, the forbidden god, who really scared him at that time. This is the master of the origin, and the power of the tomb of the gods established by it is also shining in the origin. There are many war immortals in its forces, all of whom are extraordinary in combat and can compete with the sky. However, this time period should be the time when this great god has not officially entered the origin, but it should be soon. I remember it was before the 3rd anniversary origin celebration. Notice, Holy Grail War suspended due to Winter Curtain event. During the duration, raiders who participated in the Holy Grail War can participate in the Winter Curtain event normally. Duration, until the end of the Winter Curtain event. Han Li, how many formations have you laid out in Dongmuo? Can you give me some news? Emi Yashiro, you, a guy who came from the origin, do you have an inside story? Tell me. Why did you bring your little girl? And Luffy, you kid, you don't play with guns, why did you become a spearman? Yunlong was alone, chattering all the time. Uncle Yunlong, could it be a problem with my move? Haha. But don't care about that, come and collect the snowflake welfare red envelope, and wait for the boss to come. Hey, over there, who do you call the little girl? Luffy was talking, and next to the Red Guardian Palace, Ilya was dancing with her teeth and claws. If it weren't for the fact that he was pulled by the Red Palace and lifted his body, he was afraid that he would have rushed up. Athena, on the other hand, came with the salamander, but it seems that Athena seems to have been injured, which should have been caused by the struggle in the past few days. After all, his master is a newcomer to magic. Behind them, there were also a man and 2 women. This is the master of the 2 of them, and the other is the master of the Itaka. Hey, Itaka, why did your master run away with someone else? Yunlong said again in a coaxing voice. But the weasel didn't pay attention to him, and the Red Palace glanced at the startled salamander and nodded. After all, destroying the Jiantong family, the startled salamander also helped a little. If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network. Still, good guys. It's been a few days since you came to fight the Holy Grail War, and no one has been eliminated. At most, it's a little bit of injury. But it also shows that all of them are cautious. It is precisely because they all come from the source that they are even more cautious. Itaka. Why are you heroic spirits gathered here today? Rin, a girl in red, walked towards Uchiha Itaka in a sassy manner. Unfortunately, this servant rarely spoke. I only heard that the crazy ones are dumb, how can it be their turn to change? There is also the one of the mad rank, but the words are much better than his own bow rank servant. Athena, what's going on? Emi Yashiro, who was in this world, stood next to Sakura and asked Athena. Fortunately, Athena said that she had been with the river god and the thunder god dog for a long time. Although the temperament of the sand sculpture has been dyed a lot, fortunately, at the critical moment, she can still maintain the temperament of her goddess. Don't ask, just see, it's none of your lord's business. As Athena spoke, there was a sudden tinkling sound in the sky. At the same time, Tugudefeat, who had just been treated as a boss and was ravaged, immediately said, "Attention, the event has started, I received a message that there are only a few bosses left. You have to be prepared for only this one boss to come. So, as much output as there is, hit as much output. And then when you're rolling snowballs, or when you're catching snow, there is a chance to get a welfare red envelope and get a welfare reward. By the way, the master of this world is here, so you don't have to care." The owner here? Others were confused, but Reda was clear. But now is not the time to care. Oh, my servant shouldn't be stupid. Ilya muttered as she looked at the silly Reda, who was quickly rubbing snowballs on the ground. Ilya, don't stand stupidly, help rub the snowballs, get something good, count on you. Huh. As a servant, how dare you order me? Don't be tsundere, rub the snowball. Ilya was so angry that she jumped to her feet. This servant is worthy of being crazy, too crazy, and she has been angry with herself as a master for not knowing how many times. But Ilya squatted down and picked up the cold snow with her little hands. It's so cold. It's a pity that in the world of scattered people, even if you access the event, non-raiders can't get snowflake red envelopes. This is a privilege that only the people of the kingdom have. And the next moment, with the louder and louder clanging sound, the void suddenly opened. The deer stepped into the sky and dragged the event boss here. Oops, isn't this Athena? I'm here. Young immortals, do you want a golden reward, or a silver reward, or a... I want them all. Suddenly, snowballs flew. Strategy for the All Heavens dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 315. Gold pick. It should be golden shining. It's not right, but whatever, as long as you know that this is a heroic spirit full of miscellaneous cultivators and wearing a full body of gold armor. It was the last Holy Grail war that used the means to stay here. He looked at them suspiciously. They didn't look like heroic spirits at all. In other words, he should have replaced a servant. But in reality, this is not the case. Let's not talk about this for the time being. Let's just say that this sudden appearance covered the whole world with heavy snow. In the eyes of ordinary people, it seems to not exist in general. And even as a heroic spirit, I can feel the chill of winter. As a king, I actually feel the cold. Even if he poured out the king's treasure, he couldn't resist a hint of cold, and he simply didn't understand it. But he found that as long as he was like those mortal cultivators, wrapped in thick warm clothes, he could resist the cold. There are also these unknown heroic spirits in front of them, but they have never been seen in Valhalla. But each one is strong. Based on this, it is speculated that each of their essences possesses godlike powers, even beyond gods. But they don't have the slightest divinity. The invincible heavenly locks are of no use to them. Now, these miscellaneous cultivators actually get together to have a snowball fight, which is really enough. After thinking for a moment, Jinshi's here dodged away, not knowing what he was going to do. And his arrival and departure have actually been seen clearly in the eyes of everyone. However, this heroic spirit who exists here from an unknown origin is not paid attention to by them. After all, in this secret realm confrontation, the task is to defeat the heroic spirits transformed by the raiders. Local heroic spirits are not within the scope of their strategy. So, then what's the trouble to find him? Yikes! A coquettish shout suddenly came, making everyone look sideways. I saw that Ilya, who was originally tightly wrapped, suddenly changed into a red Christmas dress. Small red leather shoes and over-the-knee socks, paired with a red cape and little red riding hood. He was carrying a small red cloth bag behind him. It's a Christmas girl dress. Bezaka. This. What is this? Puff. Red-headed, looking at Ilya's outfit, burst out laughing. But Ilya didn't care about the red smile, but pulled the short skirt violently, for fear of going away. Rest assured, Elijah, this Christmas is equipped with absolute realms. Just dress generously, you won't go naked. Also, this outfit has a good effect on the cold. What absolute realm, Ilya doesn't know. Defeat the gods. Why is the snowflake welfare red envelope transferred to Ilya? Isn't it supposed to be ineffective for them? Dugutianal looked at it happily, and complained to Brother Digu about the style of the old-timers in the wilderness. Then moved the light curtain in front of him, and fight with the desolate immortals, and go towards Red A. It's useless to them, and they can't open the snowflake welfare red envelope. But you drove it, and the gender doesn't match. And it's not an item that affects this world, so I put it on your master directly. Besides, isn't that pretty to be? When Dugu defeated the sky and said, I don't know why on the snow, Rin Tozaka, who will help rub the snowballs, and Sakura Mokuri, also suddenly changed. In an instant, she was dressed as a Christmas girl with the same style as Ilya. Itake, are you it? The weasel has already understood that color is emptiness, and emptiness is color. So, there was no fluctuation about this, and I even wanted to laugh a little, and I didn't pay attention to Ren Tozaka who was clamoring at all. Sakura was a little shy, after all, she was dressed like this in front of the seniors she secretly liked. No, why didn't I? Reda glanced at him when he came to Emi Yashiro's words. Perhaps, in the original fate, he really wanted to kill him. Regardless of the outcome. Now, as a heroic spirit, Emi Yashiro has already jumped out, but he doesn't have to think about it so much. But what's the matter with you? Read the violent novel, go to the Filu Novel Network. Do you want to have one for them dressed up as Christmas girls? If you dare to wear it, Laozi will dare to chop you. Brother Shiro, don't worry. I've just had bad luck, so I'm going to give you a Christmas girl to dress up. I knock. Hearing Yunlong's words, Reda stumbled. Good guy, one of the founders of the Origin and a group of people to form the Explosive Art Alliance, is actually in this kind of thing, is it true? Bang bang bang. In the blink of an eye, 3 rays of light flashed, and 3 more people changed their clothes. However, this time, it was changed to the snowman costume of the previous Xiao Si Ming. It's the salamander, Athena, and Emi Yashiro. It's okay, it's not a Christmas girl outfit. Red sighed. Duguyushin squinted, and the corners of his eyes glanced at the 2 melon babies who were inhibited. These 2 guys actually climbed onto the sleigh of the boss river god, and then climbed onto the back of the deer. Is helping the river god and smashing the crowd with a snowball. Hey, you 2 melon babies, what are you doing? Hurry down. No, no. Let's not go down, river god, let's go quickly, it's boring here, let's go to other worlds. By the way, go find Boss Bai, she has prepared a sky set for us. Well, when we go to the Pokken world again, Arceus promised us and allowed us to enter the United Nation region and find the ugly fish. I also want to be ugly, and then like the elder brother, I will cultivate meanness. River God, go, go. Good guys, the Winter Curtain event is for the 2 of you, and you don't think it's interesting to play it? Looking at the 2 melon babies who were chattering, Dugu shook his head. You 2 can't leave at will, you are the inhibiting force, protecting the planet and mankind, otherwise the time and space of this dimension will be chaotic. You have to go and report to the UN Lord first. The 2 babies were obviously having a good time, and then they remembered it. But this is just a trivial matter, just make a report to the owner's brother. If he doesn't allow it, then make a report to Sister Nuwa Sage, or find the reincarnation goddess, or find Sister Lihane to solve it. As the boss, the river god slowly dodges the snowball attack. Hurry up, my time is coming. Also, I'm already the last boss, so you don't have to wait. Moreover, the Snowflake Welfare Red Envelope activity is only 3 days away, you remember. Dare to be affectionate, looking at the relaxed and comfortable appearance of the river god, he has been releasing water. After hearing the words of the river god, everyone stopped paying attention to the few people in disguise, and accelerated the snowball attack in order to improve their rating. And occasionally, the snowball in his hand can also burst out of red envelopes and open random items. Unfortunately, these items cannot be used here, and must be returned to their original form. Until after the last 5 minutes. The two melon babies, riding the sacred deer, left with the river god. Only then did the crowd stop. Have a good rest these days, the event is over, I hope you will decide the winner soon. Dugu said and disappeared. I don't know where to hide, and I went to water and chat. Enter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 316. What is it like to die in public at the source? Well, it feels hard to put into words. But Zhang Hulan has a lot of experience. The fluttering snowflakes are no longer the same as they were during the winter curtain event. The chill has gradually faded, indicating that the winter curtain event has just ended. Zhang Hulan swayed leisurely to make herself look comfortable. After all, being tied up with a fairy rope and then hanging under a tree is not very comfortable. Sister Bao's burying skills may be top-notch. But when it comes to the art of bondage, the craftsmanship is still far from perfect. Maybe you can go to someone to learn from a good student, after all, you don't have to worry about more technology. Zhang Hulan kindly reminded him and gave him a business card that was tying up an experienced person. It's a pity that kindness is treated as a donkey's liver and lungs. Forget it, let's not talk about it. Just treat yourself as unladylike. Brother Zhang Hulan, 087, what are you doing here? The fox's ears trembled, and a handful of white dull hair stood on it. This handful of dumb hair was given to Susu, the little fox demon, by the heavenly fox on the sacred mountain. Don't think about it, it's definitely a great baby. And seeing Susu raise his head and look at himself with those cute eyes, Zhang Hulan couldn't say a word with a stomach full of words. Haha. Brother is looking at the scenery here, the scenery of the origin is really beautiful. Hearing Zhang Hulan's words, Susu flew to Zhang Hulan's location and looked around. Brother, hanging here and looking, the line of sight is not too good. Why don't I help you change the place? How about the Tower of Origin? It's the tallest building in Origin. Looking at the scenery there, you can definitely. Ahem. Before Susu finished speaking, he was interrupted by Zhang Hulan's light cough. Put it here, it's not so socially dead. Put it on the top of the original tower and hang it, that's the real attention, that's the real social death. I really want to go once. From tomorrow onwards, I have to steal a tire, change my face, and be a new person. That's not going to work, after all, the soul hasn't changed. Susu, it's okay, thank you. My brother just looks at it here. In order not to let Susu continue to entangle this topic, Zhang Hulan immediately continued. By the way, Susu, where is your little friend Xiana? Seeing Zhang Hulan ask about Xiana, Susu didn't mention the change of place again. Xana will come later, and she will invite someone in. Woo. Actually, Susu, I also want to invite a. No, it should be a few people coming in. However, I have to wait until I become a qualified Red Line Immortal and a qualified Tishan Fox Demon. Invite them again. That would have surprised them. Okay, Susu, come on, if you want any help, just tell me. Seeing that the topic was successfully transferred, Zhang Hulan breathed a sigh of relief. After Susu finished speaking, he seemed to remember something again, and his eyes were worried. What's wrong? Is there still someone bullying you? Go directly to the queen to complain. Susu shook his head vigorously. In the origin, no one bullied me, everyone is fine. Sister Bayakui gave me a lot of potions, and also took me to Uncle Dashan to learn the secret method of the fox fairy among the demon clan. Sister Sunur, you gave me a lot of pills, as well as demonic beast meat for cultivation and consumption. Sister Hancock and Sister Shirahoshi gave me a lot of law fragments, as well as a sea king beast that can swim at the bottom of the sea. Sister Hinata gave me several plug-in pupils to deal with different environments. And Susu smiled and said a lot, and her face was much less worried, and then, she heard her say, it's because of Zana-chan, on the day of the Winter Curtain event, after going back in a hurry. I heard her say that she did a real-time dynamic quest, and then she seemed a little sad, and I don't know why, so I was a little worried about her. I see. If you read a violent novel, go to Fila Novel Network. Of course, Jong Hulan knew that if he did the real-time dynamic copy task, he would get his original fate picture. Therefore, Zana-chan must have seen something, so there was an emotional change, which was felt by the intelligent Susu. However, I don't know the specific situation, so I can only comfort. Susu, don't worry, Zana-chan has the help of Erastil and the Origin, nothing bad will happen. As he spoke, a shout was heard not far away. Susu, I'm here. Hearing Xia-na-chan's voice, Susu and Jong Hulan immediately looked at it from a distance. I saw that Zana-chan seemed to be the same as usual, but her eyes were a little complicated, and other than that, she still had a cool expressionless appearance. It seems that only when she eats the pineapple bun does she manifest another state. And beside them, in addition to Erastil, there was also a woman in a maid's costume, walking with them. This should be what Zana said, inviting people who enter the Origin. Looking at the dress, it seems to be a maid. But its temperament is as elegant and discreet as that of the nobility. Susu, why did you give him up? Erastil watched Susu fall from mid-air, nodded at Jong Hulan, and then asked. No, I didn't tie it. Brother Jong Hulan said that he wanted to see the scenery and went up by himself. Can you believe that? Erastil complained in his heart, looking at Jong Hulan's embarrassing appearance. He didn't say anything. Susu, let me introduce you, this is Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina, this is Susu. Wilhelmina, save Zana, bring her up single-handedly, teach her skills, and discover her fire mist warrior abilities. It's kind of a mother-like person like Zana. Today, he was suddenly brought to this mysterious place by Zana, a place where even Erastil doesn't go into details. And along the way, everything she saw has subverted the imagination of her hundreds of years of life. Hello, Sister Wilhelmina. Seeing that the little girl in front of her, who was obviously not human, said hello, Wilhelmina's etiquette would not let her ignore it. Hello, Susu. It's Susu who is taking care of Zana these days, thank you very much. Seeing this, Susu hurriedly waved his hand. How could he take care of Xia-na? At most, it's just feeding pineapple buns and rubbing Zana's brain 2.0 bag. Erastil, as soon as Wilhelmina arrived today, you should take her to learn about the origins. Yes, yes. Susu listened to what Xia-na said, and immediately nodded, and then said. Today, we made an appointment with Connor-chan to go to her house to eat Sister Thor's handiwork. Let's go. Two pairs of cute eyes looked at him, and Erastil sighed and was defeated. Okay, just today, it's time for you to have a holiday. Yes, thank you, Uncle Erastil. Susu smiled happily, took Zana-chan with her, waved her hand at Wilhelmina, and then quickly left. Brother Jong Hulan, you just take your time to see the scenery, let's go first. Immediately, he took Wilhelmina and left. Jong Hulan had no choice but to wave her hand awkwardly. Ah! Sister Bauer, please let it go. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 317. Thor, don't go anywhere to drink these days. Stark spoke to Thor as he walked. This guy, the Winter Curtain event, is the time to grab benefits, and as a result, he got drunk with that group of drunkards. After waking up, the first time was not to go to Asgard, nor to go to the Hydra office. Instead, he ran to Earth and found his girlfriend. It's not. After 2 days of tiredness, his girlfriend was busy with work, and he ran into the source again. But just a word of advice, still not at ease. I'm going to go to the Transformers' secret realm. Go see the machine transforming race of silicon-based life. It would be nice if you could get the source of the fire and even bring it out. However, the origin of that thing will definitely not be allowed to be obtained at will. I'm afraid that I have to pay a lot of points, and there are many benefits. And because of this, on the Jutu side, only the ex-police are there, and he is still a little worried. X teaches some good old people, with good hearts, but not very decisive. It's not bad to cooperate with his good friend Magneto. Moreover, Magneto now learns and finally knows what a magnetic field is. Finally able to exert his Magneto's power 05 instead of wielding metal with intelligence. But in the base, I put a few boiled eggs eyeliner. So it's better to let Thor stay here and keep an eye on the organization. By the way, maybe before I get back, Loki will have something to do. This is a message from the Supreme Mage. So, if I haven't come back when Loki is doing something, it's up to you here. Seeing that Thor seemed to be about to speak, Stark waved his hand and told him to continue listening first. Moreover, the Supreme Mage is coming back. If you can watch Hydra out of trouble these days and not run away from drinking, then I can go and intercede and let Loki join the origin. Thor was originally unconcerned, but when he heard this, he suddenly became energetic. No way, who made him love his brother deeply? Whether it's that one or not brothers, but they grew up together. Loki is still on his shoulders, this sworn brother who is on par with himself regardless of temperament, force, talent, and handsomeness. Those are all the closest siblings of his own Thor. Stark, that's settled. Wang. I probably won't be able to do it today, though. Wang. Thor readily agreed, but thought of something to say. You just promised well, and the next moment you won't be able to? Stark said angrily, pausing and signing a few contracts. In the past few days, there have been a lot of orders from the Triple Alliance, the second-generation Mark Mecha and the third-generation Mark Mecha produced earlier. They were all packaged and sold by themselves, and the inventory was cleared. The big customers that took over were the Triple Alliance and the Han Empire. Very cheap price, and interest-free installments. It's a win-win. They can make the transition to armament with cheap, but sophisticated industrial technology products. After all, they have only joined for a long time, and the Triple Alliance is better. After all, it has established reincarnation and laid the foundation. Replenish the armament, you can quickly expand the army and earn points, and then move to a higher level. And the Han Empire, which has only been in for a few days, is the one who needs these the most. After all, with the support of all walks of life, with the increase of the origin heavens, the rules are becoming more and more perfect, and the origin rules must also be observed. We can't help without a bottom line, so that they lose the motivation to struggle. If you don't talk about that, just talk about yourself. I recouped some points to make up for the lack of funds for the extraordinary suit mecha that I participated in the Heavens Academy and developed. Today's extraordinary series of suits has really entered the stage of actual combat experiments. There is only a generation series of transcendent immortal suits. Of course, this is not the credit of his own person, but also the participation of the Heavens Research and Research Institute, the development and research of mecha suits. It is made of the experience of making imperial tools, and then combined with the immortal Deo refiner. I have invested, so I can naturally get first-hand information. If you read a violent novel, go to Feel a Novel Network. Earlier, it was only a half-finished product that could harden the Hulk. And now, in the experimental stage, the first generation of immortal suits. That's what really counts as a finished product. Why is it called a fairy suit? That is, it is manufactured, and the lowest can be comparable to the battle suit of a martial arts junior immortal. The primary human immortal, converted into the Thunder Tribulation Ghost immortal, is the appearance of the four tribulations, which is the existence of the dimensional world that can be reborn. This is the pinnacle of the origin transcendental, and it has opened the door to the quasi-single, stepped into the stage of detachment, and entered the stage of monomer. So, if the human immortal suit is successfully developed, it will naturally be a top-notch suit, and even ordinary people can use it without burden. Even someone came up with a more radical idea. That is to use the suit a lot, so that the suit erodes the flesh until the suit is completely integrated with itself. Then, even ordinary people will completely become a human immortal warrior at that moment. This method is extremely bold, but it has to be said that this research direction is still good. Stark doesn't care about that. If the first generation of immortal suits are successfully developed, the technology is safe and reliable, and after being certified by the source, it can be weakened accordingly. The human immortal battle suit is an extraordinary top 12th order, so it will be weakened into all stages. Levels 1 to 11, there are versions for each stage. However, the higher the tier, the more rare the material. The production of the human immortal battle suit requires a human immortal level, or a body comparable to this level, as a manufacturing material. It's harder to think about. The price is definitely expensive. What I have to do is to face the 247 Heavenly Origin Public's battle suit. Of course, there must be a tip, but the number can be reduced accordingly. Moreover, the Research Institute has experience in the production of human immortal suits. It is about to be launched on the Horse Yuan Shen type suit, Magic Element suit, Immortal Law suit, Super Technology suit and so on. Then I got busy. I was able to go out to the secret realm today because the Research Institute believes that the transformers of this spark source and silicon-based life have a good scientific research role. So I want to go to the secret realm, but no one stops me. However, his father, these days, and his mother, are obsessed with cultivating immortals and can't extricate themselves, which makes the Research Institute have a lot of opinions. There was already a shortage of people, and you went to cultivate immortals. Thoughts flowed, and after Stark asked, Thor smiled and pointed to the Thor brothers on his shoulder. No, my brother's father, my father-in-law. Tell me to go to a house party, so, you know. That is, why are you going to drink again? Forget it, there is still Odin watching, Professor X and Magneto, they should be able to be busy. It's a big deal that I finished brushing it early and came back early, but I still reminded it. Thor, forget it, you pay attention to Loki's whereabouts anyway. What's the matter, you send me a message. As he spoke, he also glanced at Zhang Hulan, who was hanging on the tree and counting the stars comfortably. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 318. Stark, don't go. Let's talk. Looking at Stark, who heard his shout and ran faster, Zhang Hulan shook his head. Hey. I am hanging from the tree here, but I have comprehended the origin of the stars, and I have realized the supreme star power. I wanted to point out to you, a person who is destined, but I can't help it, but I can. It? After pretending for a while, his face immediately collapsed. Yuan, I want to complain about Feng Bao, she oppresses the good, acts recklessly, reverses black and white, and turns things around. What are the gods talking about? Why haven't you been put down by Sister Bauer yet? I'm afraid you're not honest and provoke Sister Bauer again. The gentle voice came out, and Zhang Hulan knew that it was Hongshu who was coming. Raising his head and pretending to be sad, he said in a deep voice. What's the matter? I'm just recommending him, find a good teacher, learn to bundle art. The corners of Hong Hui's eyes twitched, and he secretly said that Zhang Hulan didn't know that Sister Kwakwa Bauer didn't know. Maybe you can praise Sister Bauer's bondage and burying skills, she will let you down a long time ago. By the way, when I was tied up the other day, didn't you say you went to the exam? How's it going? With your knowledge, the exam must be a breeze. And I will definitely be able to win the first place Yun. In the future, you will also be a master of lifting, and you will still be the number one among many lifters. What the hell is the head card? With your mouth, Sister Bauer doesn't hang you for 10 days and half a month, which can be regarded as light. I thought about it, but I still spoke. That's right, I'm really the middle of the coin. As he spoke, he thought of the fate picture again, and he won the first card in the scroll this time. Phew. Was positioned as the first place, but was stopped by his father, Wu Wenho, and was almost suppressed. This time, it was Genshin who personally investigated and saw that scene with his own eyes. If it weren't for the ministers of the volume, on the grounds of killing Jin Luan, they pushed Wu Wenho back, and he was afraid that he would really be suppressed. Haha. Hong 11, that means that if you are in the next test, you will win the Huiwen. Then in the temple test, he was named the champion. That's the 3 UN in the company. No matter which dynasty you put it in, as long as you don't make a big mistake, you can be a great minister. Zhang Hulan's eyebrows fluttered when he spoke, as if he had hit the 3 UN. What are you talking about? As he was talking, Luo Feng, who was far away, walked over with Xiao Yan and Xiao Yan. Hey, this guy Han Li is here too. He was defeated in the Holy Grail War. This is a rare thing. With his stability, there is still a reluctance. I don't think I'll be defeated so quickly. Hong Hui greeted them, and Zhang Hulan said exaggeratedly. Talking about Hong 11, he has just learned about UN in the examination, and he has changed from a show talent to a top-ranking master. Next, he will soar into the sky, hit 3 UN in a row, and the crown will be pressed for a while. Congratulations, congratulations. Xiao Yan and the others hurriedly said. Course people like them, testing fame or something, that's impossible. I don't have that ink in my stomach. If you want to create a low-level martial arts boxing method or something, it's easy. But if you want to write a governance article or something, forget it. Come on, since everyone is here, I, Hong Hui, will be the East today, and I invite you to gather at Master Abe's restaurant. It just so happened that Han Li had also come back, so he called Yehei again and drank a gu together. Okay, let's get together and have some wine. Xiao Yan didn't care, he was originally preparing and moving to go to the Transformers' secret realm to see the silicon-based life and the source of the fire. But since everyone is so interested, he naturally will not refuse in disappointment. If you read a violent novel, go to Filu Novel Network. Oh, it's a pity for someone, I don't have that blessing. Luo Feng said in a weird manner, his eyes staring at Zhang Hulan. Zhang Hulan looked depressed and swallowed her saliva. Hong 11 waved his hand and hugged his fist at the immortal rope. Sister Bauer, she is beautiful and ambitious, and her heart is the kindest. Hong 11 also asked Sister Bauer to give Zhang Hulan a few hours and let him have a drink with us to celebrate. What's the use of this? Zhang Hulan pouted and said. But as soon as Hong Xian finished speaking, he saw the rope of the bundle of immortals loosening, and Zhang Hulan fell straight down and fell to the ground. Ahahaha, Feng. As soon as Zhang Hulan fell, she seemed to be about to say something. Fortunately, Hong Su was quick and directly covered Zhang Hulan's mouth. If you don't want to hang yourself in this lonely old age, it's better not to speak. Master Abe's restaurant. Zhang Hulan ate with a mouthful of oil. Woo, it's so delicious, woo, how can it be so delicious? I've only been hungry for a few days, why is this like this? It turned out to be a rope of immortals, and it was not only the body that was bound, but also its strength and soul. Let him be like an ordinary person, hanged for a few days, of course hungry. Yahé also came here in a hurry. I said, Hong 11, you still have a murderous aura on your body, why did you kill someone when you first came? Han Li's eyes were sharp, and he saw some residual murderous aura at a glance. Hong Shu nodded. Well, the lady who killed my mother, because I was beaten, got into a bad mood and ordered someone to spy on me. But the man was so arrogant that I killed him. I dare to speak out against my mother. If it weren't for the fact that I was guarding against those few Yang gods being broken, I would have called you all together to go over there and change the world. Hong 11 paused when he said this, and then said with a smile. However, I am now successful in my cultivation and have enough points to resurrect my mother completely. I can let the source, from the fate of time, bring my mother back intact. Previously, Hong 11 was still very careful about those human immortals, or ghost immortals, and even Yang gods in the shadows. Now, he has enough confidence to protect his mother. Is no longer as ignorant and weak as a young man. However, when the time comes, it is better to resurrect the mother and not let her live in her own world. Well, as in fate, after encountering Yinsha, let Yinsha be accompanied by her mother. Hong Xian's heart was full of thoughts, and Yahé beside him raised his glass and said, "This is another happy event, Hong 11 congratulations, come, go again." At the same time, Yahé turned his head to look at Han Li again. Han Li, what's the matter with you guy? I've been in retreat for the past 2 days, but I haven't watched your Holy Grail war live. But you set up so many formations and gathered so much mana, why were you eliminated? Seeing Yahé ask, the others also looked at Han Li. Han Li also smiled bitterly and put down his glass. The guy from the future, I suspect he's hanging, but I don't have the evidence to buy it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm Chasing Water in the Sky. Chapter 319. The restaurant was bustling with activity, and Han Li was telling about his experience of the Holy Grail War. The main thing you mean is that you were caught off guard by him. Han Li nodded, admitting that at that moment, he was still the same as before. That is, relying on the mana accumulated by the formation, first protect yourself, find the right time, and then kill with one blow, rather than confronting it head-on. At the time, the guy was wearing a pitch-black suit that I remember had what seemed to be a mark. It should be made by which force of origin? But I don't have any memories of it. I only know that the mad-level Emi Yashiro, after putting on that suit of battle, seems to be able to ignore the formation. However, at that time, I was also shocked by its momentum, and I didn't notice it at the first time. In fact, the level of that suit is not high, but it has the power to break the formation. But in fact, if I fight directly with it and fight in the formation, the outcome is unknown. But by the time I knew it, it was already night. That guy has broken my formation. I, who is at the level of a magician, have been broken out of my position, and almost half of my strength has been removed. In the face of the mad rank of Emi Yashiro, even if he used the props prepared in advance, he was quickly defeated. The origin raider of the 360 future should have restrictions on the items and props that will only be available in the future origin. Hong Xian raised his eyes and said, looking at Han Li and saying, and if he can use the future origin props normally, it should also be a low-grade suit, but it only has some special ability, and it shouldn't be very powerful. When he found you, he directly used his powerful momentum to wantonly destroy the formation, capturing your heart in an instant, making Han Li think that he had powerful means. But in fact, that person also saw your caution, and deliberately did so. On the side, Luo Feng also nodded. Han Li, you are not young, and before entering the origin, you had indeed experienced many tribulations. But in battle, your fighting style is indeed a little less brave and decisive than that of martial arts practitioners. This kind of thing is a mixed bag. Caution has the benefits of caution, and courage also has the advantages of bravery. Everyone and Han Li discussed the gains and losses of the battle, and finally slowly transferred to the man's battle suit. I don't think that style of suit is the Stark style. Although Han Li was blocked a bit, there were a lot of details related to that suit. But I still remember a little. For example, the armor is pure black, the style is rough, and the water chestnut horns are distinct. It seems to be a messenger in the night. As for Stark's suit, the style does not have that rough feeling, and it is mainly red and gold, which looks very saubag. That's why Han Li said that the maker of the suit shouldn't be Stark. Moreover, I haven't heard of Stark that he has plans to make a suit that can break the formation. If you want to do it, Stark should do the same, a suit that can unleash formation or magic. Stark snorted, stopping the itchy sensation. How didn't care about throwing the 2 stacks of Franklin. All right, the car is mine. This money, you go and buy all new, handsome, more than enough. After all, you need money to have a girlfriend. You can go buy a good car instead of driving a broken car that is getting old. You can also dress yourself up a little more handsomely. Stark spoke to a young man, remembering something else. By the way, little one, and your pair of glasses sold on the internet, go get them to me, too. Sam excitedly held 2 wads of green Franklin, smelling the charming scent and thinking of the lover of his dreams. Hey, don't call me little guy, my name is Sam, Sam Vitvik. Okay, Sam. Give me the glasses now, okay. Well, kind sir. If you read a violent novel, go to Feel a Novel Network. Those glasses, but my grandfather. Before Sam could continue, Stark interrupted him with a wave of his hand. He didn't want to listen to him brag about it. Sam, in a minute, I need to see the glasses, or I won't want the car. Sam was anxious when he heard this, and he had Franklin in his hand, but he couldn't go back. Right now, sir. As he spoke, he rushed upstairs to his house with a cigarette. He didn't care why the person downstairs was willing to spend so much money. In his own hands, he bought the broken car that he had just brought back, as well as this pair of broken glasses left by his grandfather. He just wanted to go and pick a good car now. Then go and meet your own goddess. Grab the key props, glasses, and these 2 broken cars. Stark stopped and immediately left. And this car is not at all as tattered as it looks. Transformers. Now, the glasses are in my hands. It's up to you, can you bear it? Stark thought to himself, but he wasn't in a hurry. Put the glasses in his pocket at will, and his Jarvis quickly deciphered the information stored on the glasses. On the contrary, unlike the laid-back Stark, the Hornet is already in contact with his companions. After all, a human being, while buying a car by name, seems to care more about the glasses. It's hard not to make Bumblebee wonder if this human has been in contact with the madman. And, it may still be doing bad things for the fanatics. At the same time, Stark instantly felt that he had lost control of the car. Can't help it? Stark smiled inwardly until it was the Bumblebee who was doing the trick. But if you want to scare me, Iron Man Stark, I'm afraid it's far from enough. Stark directly let go of the steering wheel and sat flat, watching the Bumblebee perform. And on the radio, there were also bursts of noisy sounds. It's a Bumblebee to speak, but unfortunately the car doesn't work, and the radio is broken. The radio doesn't work, scan a good car, change to that and you'll be able to speak normally. By the way, as a member of Cybertron's Bow faction, you don't look like a serious warrior at all. As Stark's voice fell. Maybe it's fate. A yellow sedan drove by, exactly as it had been in the original Fate. In just an instant, Stark felt the whole car, in the molecular structure, flowing. Then, everything in the car was completely new. Interesting, it's worth the trip. It's better to get things done all at once this time. According to the idea of the Institute, find the planet Cybertron directly, and then. I'm sorry. Our goal is not just the spark source, but all of Cybertron. Strategy for the All Heavens Dungeon, starting from the Biohive. Author, I'm chasing water in the sky. Chapter 320. Take a ride on the brand new Bumblebee. From the radio, a voice was heard. Glasses. Can't. Dangerous. Leave it to me. Listening to Bumblebee's words, Stark didn't take seriously. However, the glasses at this time are no longer of much use to him, and the information that should be cracked has also been broken. However, I don't know if Bumblebee's companion has come to Earth now. Hey, big guy, I paid for this. Will you give it to you if you say so? Without waiting for Bumblebee to speak, Stark pulled out his glasses. Unless, you can give me something, in exchange. Take it? Well, just take Cybertron's coordinates, what do you think? Stark said, waiting for a response from Bumblebee. Glasses, Autobots, important, articles. No, class, human, all. Restitution, maniac, danger. Apparently, Bumblebee is saying that the glasses are dangerous, and the crazy robots will come looking for trouble. But would Stark be afraid? He wished that all the Transformers would come here. At this moment, behind Bumblebee, a loud siren roared suddenly, causing Stark to look back. Well, is this your companion, or your enemy? As soon as he finished asking, Bumblebee's speed soared, apparently trying to get rid of the police car behind him. Don't think about it, this must be the enemy of the Autobots. Stark looked at the information given by the Uncharted dungeon. This guy is called a barricade. Okay, here's another Transformer caught. Stark said excitedly, it seemed that for him, these Transformers had become his captives. Jarvis, put the information about the glasses online, and then pass on our coordinates as well. In Kyushu's words, this is called inviting you into the urn. Jarvis, my Kyushu idiom, it's not wrong. Sir, it's the right one. But there are two pieces of news that I need to tell you first. Stark and Jarvis were talking, not caring at all, the Bumblebee that was speeding fast, and the barricades behind them. On the road, the speed is extremely fast, overtaking one car after another. Jarvis, on the other hand, continued in Stark's mind. Sir, I hacked a global satellite, and in the first time, I found Megatron and the whereabouts of the source of the fire. It's different from what is written on the glasses. According to the hidden information of the military, they have already moved Megatron, as well as the source of the fire, to another place for in-depth research. And, the mad Transformers, have descended on Earth. They hacked into one of Millie's spaces, as well as the President's Plane 1, in order to hack into the network in search of Megatron and the source of the tinder, but failed. So, should we send the information about Megatron and the source of the fire directly? In that case, sir, you can not only invite you into the urn. You can still wait for the rabbit. Good guys, Jarvis, you're much smarter than before, it looks like it won't be long before you can be upgraded. Has become an intelligent life like Luo Feng's Bubita. Moreover, the way you use the Kyushu idiom is so similar to my Stark, it is worthy of being made by my Stark. Okay, just do as you say. Hurry up and finish the business, and I'll go back quickly. That guy is not very reliable. Next, something big happened in the family. I'm not there, but I'm a little worried. Making a decision, Jarvis immediately implemented the plan and transferred the information of Megatron to the source of the fire. It was sent to some special audio signal that was interspersed with all the networks in the world. These special signals are exactly what the crazy Transformers left behind. If you read a violent novel, go to Feel a Novel Network. Meantime, Stark changed and teleported out of the car. I didn't even wear my own battle suit, and I looked at the barricades that were galloping towards me. With both hands, you can directly push the barricade against it. Ha 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 ha, little one, don't worry. Uncle Stark, I'll take good care of you Transformers, and your Cybertrons. The barricade didn't understand Stark's meaning for a moment, but it felt a chill for no reason. In an instant, all four wheels smoked, but Stark didn't move. Damn, this guy can't be a Transformer in a human skin coat. Click. The sound of metal hitting and colliding is sharp. The police car quickly transforms into a tall Transformers robot. Look at this smooth transformation, that wonderful metal line, silky movement. Stark loved it so much that his saliva almost flowed. Human. We can have a good talk. For no reason, the barricades didn't say a word of cruelty. After all, he had just completely felt the power of the dwarf human in front of him. That's something you can't even shake yourself. Terrible. On the street, huge robots towered, scaring the surrounding vehicles and dodging them. Click. Behind Stark, another distorted metallic voice was heard, and it was Bumblebee back. After all, glasses can be on Stark. How could Bumblebee allow glasses, snatched away by barricades? But what's wrong with the current situation? It seemed that the barricade was a little soft and weak, and did not act rudely to the human. Stark didn't want to talk about that, though. I saw a little in his hand, and two immortal lights shot out, turning into two golden ropes. In an instant, the Bumblebee and the barricades were firmly tied. This is a fairy treasure similar to the bundle of immortal ropes, but it is only an ultra-low quality and inferior version of the bundle of immortal ropes. Tie up a transformer or something, that's just a trivial. Let the bumblebees and barricades struggle, and they will not move. Then, Stark waved lightly. Bumblebee and barricade, suddenly and slowly becoming smaller, turned into two small tied dolls, and landed in Stark's palm. Then the nano-worms all over the body flowed, turned into nano-suits, and suddenly rose to the sky. Jarvis, go straight to where Megatron is being held. Wait for the rabbit. By the way, Simulate uses the Bumblebee's message to guide its companions to go there as well. When the time comes, I'll take the Transformers on this Earth. Then go to Cybertron. That's it? Hopefully, when I go back, I'll be in front of the Supreme Master. That two-way foil, I want to see it for the first time. Dry.